Hey guys, welcome to a recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Our girls are back, and not everyone is back. One of the girls got cut, Miss Lisa Rinna, but we did have a little bit of a cameo of Lisa Rinna's email of her not returning back to the Beverly Hills franchise. So let's get into this reaction. Now, guys, we open up this season at Casa Dorit, and she is looking like a whole new woman. I did not recognize her. She did darken her hair a little bit, so she's no longer the blonde bombshell, but she's gonna give us a little bit of a darker blonde. Are we liking it or are we not liking it? Me, I feel like it's a different vibe. I do feel like she kind of changes her hair color to what Khloe Kardashian is doing. I'm just noticing that. A little observation, but I did notice that little bit of change, that she went into a darker blonde in the same time that Khloe got to a darker blonde. Now, moving on. Now, Dorit is still going through a lot of emotions due to, like, you know, the break in to her home, which is understandable. It's understandable, but you know, PK is over it. PK wants to move on, but he's gonna do everything he can to make his wife feel comfortable. So Dorit has a great idea to, you know, to get all the ladies together on a good note by having a little retreat with Eaglewoman. Okay, she is not lying. She thinks a whole retreat is a good way to start this new season. Now, I do think it did set forward a moment where the girls can really be open and honest to how they really feel about each other. Because when we got to the retreat, and of course, you know, she's not hosting a retreat at her home, she's having a separate event at a different location, so all the ladies are to meet each other for the first time to film the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So we're seeing all the ladies and seeing how they're looking. They all look fabulous. I am loving Garcelle's confessional look. I think this is my first favorite confessional look from Garcelle, because sometimes she hits or miss for me, or is not a complete, you know, slay. But I'm loving her black and white stripe outfit with the dark eyeshadow. I thought she looked very camp, very avant-garde. So anywho, she looks good. Sutton, she is back and better than ever. I feel like Sutton got really comfortable with the cameras, because at first, when we first saw her on the scene, I thought she was a little bit nervous. The next season, she came back, and she came back really hard and strong for Erica's butt. Okay, she was on her because all the other girls were scared. So I feel like now this season, you see Sutton really getting her groove on, very comfortable with the cameras, very comfortable with the ladies, and she comes into the scene with Garcelle. We also get to see Crystal. Now, I am gagged. I did not think that she would be returning back this season, but I feel like this is like her final season to really showcase if she's gonna be here or not. I do like the concept of having Crystal as a part of the cast, because she is married to the Lion King. I feel like she has access to an absorbent amount of wealth, but we're not, you know, we're not getting that. That's not clicking on the show. So, okay, we see Crystal this episode for this season. And did she give anything this season, this first episode? I don't think so. I feel like, Crystal, you need to step up a little bit, girl. This is your last opportunity, last chance. Now, we do get to see Kyle, and she is giving us, you know, she's showing off her body that she worked out for. She looks good. I feel like this is the best that Kyle has ever looked. But you know, Kyle, she's still very fidgety, you know, she's still giving, you know, I'm not sensing full confidence. I feel like Kyle is still trying to get her groove back together, given that we know that, you know, her marriage is on the rocks, okay, with Mauricio. Now, we do get to see Erica Jane. That body transformed completely. I loved her confessional look in that gold ensemble corseted top. I don't know what the bottom gave, but the top was very corseted. I thought she looked good. She gives a good evil villain moment. I like her voice. I feel like if she was on Disney, she would play an evil witch or something like that. But, you know, she came in this first episode very humble in the sense that she was ready to apologize to Dorit for the comments that she made in BravoCon, speculating and saying that, you know, her marriage may be on the rocks. She did apologize, and she was very humble to really, you know, start on a good foot with these girls since her bestie Lisa Rinna is no longer in this equation. So I feel like, okay, that's probably really the real motive. But in this episode, you could tell that Erica is ready to move on past the lawsuits that was held against her husband. We do get to see her, you know, talk to her therapist about moving on and what are the steps like past this whole situation. And, you know, already she is talking about the death of her husband, okay, and how that is going to look like and how she's going to feel, because she says she's over the man, but, you know, the therapist made it very clear that, you know, once he passed on, you may have that sense of feeling that, you know, you feel bad for him, or you feel some sense of some emotions that you're going to have to go through and process. But anywho, Erica is ready to move on and move forward. I feel like she is ready to have a clean slate with these ladies, to move past the drama about her legal cases. Even though all the ladies, you know, they still think about, you know, how everything, even though she may be somewhat vindicated, that, you know, everyone's gonna associate the case to her. Like, they're gonna associate her and all this baggage. So I feel like this season is all about Erica trying to get rid of some of this baggage and try to make it again and be a star. Now, would I like to see it? I mean, no one's praying on anyone's downfall, but I know for her it's going to be very, very, very difficult to win over a lot of people, because a lot of people were against Erica Jane and how she handled the situation. Now, I guess she is now taking Kyle's advice and being more emotional, being more kind. I see through that, you know, but, you know, she got to do what she got to do. Okay, she has to live after this whole marriage situation gone down the hill, okay? So now, moving on, we do get to see Sutton in her day-to-day life, and she's just living her best life. Sutton is ideally what you want from a housewife. You want to see the glitz, the glamour, and everything money, 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 okay? Now with Sutton, we see her boutique, her shop, and she has her assistant, and she has pretty much another person that she has collaborated before, who is also her friend, and they have a chit chat pretty much to catch up on what's going on with Sutton's life. I felt like this woman was trying to be another housewife on the show, but we'll see how things progress. Anywho, what we learned from Sutton is that she has really done the damn thing. She has made it, and she wants to, you know, show her kids that she's quite successful, and that, you know, it's very important for her and as a woman to be financially independent, even though she wants to be in a new relationship. So we, you know, have to be reminded once again that in her divorce settlement that she was awarded $300,000 each month from her ex-husband. And I forgot, but then we were quick to be reminded. And she is like, even though she is awarded this money, she still goes out there and works hard to make her own income, to show to her kids that, you know, she as a woman can go and do the damn thing. Now, we do get to see some possibilities of Sutton, you know, with the girls getting along, and I'm wondering how long it's gonna last, because I feel like in the previous season, I don't know if the girls necessarily like Sutton. I feel like she's like the Heather Dubrow of Beverly Hills. So I wonder how long that's gonna last. But you know, her and Garcelle are thick as thieves. Those two are real friends. The other girls I am watching, I'm observing, I have my guard up, okay? Anywho, now moving on, Crystal didn't have much going on this episode, so we could move past by that. Now I have to get to Garcelle. Garcelle. I felt so bad for Garcelle in the scene with her sons. You know, her sons came over. They had like a little picnic over by the beach. And she was talking about how how they're deciding what plans to do moving on. The twins, the boys, they're now grown. They're 15, 16. And so they communicated to Garcelle, their mother, how they no longer want to go back and forth between homes. Remember, Garcelle, she is divorced from her ex-husband and they no longer live together. So the boys, they had lived quite some time with their father, and it was kind of like a new thing where they were going back and forth between the father and the mother's home. But the boys have communicated to Garcelle that they're very tired of doing the back and forth and much rather just stay home base at their father's. Now, of course, this made Garcelle really sad and very emotional because she felt like what was a disconnect. And her son really communicated to her that when he needed her, she was gone and away at work. And even though it was 3 weeks, for him it felt like it was a year. It felt very hard for him because he needed his mother. And he was open and honest about that, and Garcelle was very receptive to just listen and not hush down her boys from speaking how they really felt. Now, I felt for her in that moment because, of course, what they had to say, of course, broke her heart. And you can tell from her other son, he was a little bit more cautious to be like, oh, that's a little bit too deep, too harsh. But the other son was like, no, I have to get this out for me so she knows how I really feel, how he really feels. So Garcelle was such a trooper and a great mom in the sense that, she really listened and, took the opportunity to figure out, okay, what to cater to this child's needs, which she says in her confessional that was completely opposite from how she was raised by her mother. Her mother, her parenting style was pretty much the same across the board for all the kids. So what Garcelle is doing is she's taking a different approach where she is, individually parenting each child. Now, I am rooting for her and her relationship with her sons, but I do think this is a good sign that they're able to properly communicate and say how they really feel. So I don't think this is a bad thing. I think this is a good thing. But of course, in her shoes, who wouldn't be hurt? So I guess we'll keep an eye out on that and see how that goes. But I'm rooting for Garcelle. She is a working mother, and the bills have to be paid, and she has to support her kids, her boys, because they remember last season they wanted nice shoes that cost $1,200. Like, that's not cheap, that's not easy, and you have to get up and work to provide for your kids. So she's gonna do the best that she could possibly do. But I know that was a hard moment for Garcelle. Now, it seemed like the focus of this whole episode was the speculation, observation, extravaganza, eleganza of Kyle Richards and her husband Mauricio, of Mo. Now, the whole speculation is about whether this relationship is on the rocks. Clearly, obviously, it's on the rocks because they show us as they were filming that, Mauricio is busy planning, golfing trips with his friend, and not really wanting to engage in a conversation with his wife, Kyle, who really wanted to talk to him. But she complains that, if she wants to talk to her husband, they pretty much have to schedule when to talk, and that was becoming an issue. Now, this was awkward and scary for me to watch because I'm like, is this real? Is this for a storyline? Because, Kyle, she's good for a little storyline, extravaganza, eleganza. So I don't know if this is true or not, but, we are seeing post-filming the fire from the smoke. The fire is now happening. Now, there's a recent article, and we saw Kyle on Watch What Happened Live say that she did not like that her husband was holding hands with his dancing partner on Dancing with the Stars. But that wouldn't be a first where a partner went dancing on Dancing with the Stars and left with a whole new partner relationship wise. That wouldn't be the first, and that wouldn't be the last. So she has every right to be, on guard with that situation. So there was a whole scene that was quite controversial, where Mauricio noticed that Kyle had a tattoo on her that he never recognized before. And she's like, yeah, I have a new tattoo. And he was like unaware of this completely, and he said to her, okay, that's enough, no more. And she was challenging his authority by saying, well, no, she's gonna do what she wants. And I'm like, Kyle, for the cameras, are you serious? Are y'all really having this fight right here, right now? Because obviously it's not about the tattoos. It's about the bigger issue at hand. It's just tattoos is, you know, what we're gonna use to facilitate this fight, okay? So she was very on point and saying to Mo that, you know, yeah, she'll get new tattoos if she wants to, her body, her choice. And I'm like, don't use these buzzwords, your body, your choice, on Mauricio, because you want him to be canceled. If you don't like the man, just say you don't like the man, but you don't have to have this man canceled, okay? So that was the whole spectacle. And, you know, we have a lot to see throughout this season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We do have a new housewife, but she was not introduced yet in this episode, so we'll get to her once she's introduced. But apparently she's the reason why Crystal finally has a voice. So I'm like, okay, this is a good thing. We need that, because Crystal, I am worried for you. Based on this first episode, you did not show up. All the other ladies showed up. Even Lisa Rinna showed up in her little email. But in this episode, Crystal did not show up. So guys, I want to know your thoughts of this episode. Are we excited? At least I'm excited, because I know with Beverly Hills, they're going to spend the money. They're going to do the extravaganza, eleganza. We're going to get so much eye candy, so much fashion. You know, of course, Dorit's going to give us the labels. So I am excited for that. The storylines, you know, I'm on the fence on it, but I'm optimistic. I feel like these girls will deliver it, but this time it's not going to be all on Erica's back and Sutton's back to carry the season. Let these other ladies do the work too as well. So guys, let me know what you guys think, and as always, share as much kindness as possible. If you made it this far to the video, you might as well like, comment, and subscribe. Join the fam. Bye guys.